Hello everyone. In this segment we are going to study the teeth. This is the second part of the buccal cavity. We have already studied the palate of the buccal cavity. Today we are going to see the second part of the buccal cavity, which is the teeth. The entire teeth present in the human mouth is known as dentition. This is the total number of teeth present in the human or in the animal, and this is based on the diet as well as the feeding habits. So the herbivores have different type of teeth, the carnivores have different type of teeth. So it is basically on the diet and feeding habits. Let us see the characteristics of the human teeth. There are certain terms that we are going to discuss that describes the human teeth. Let us see the first one. The human teeth is Diphyodont. This tells the number of successive sets of teeth that the organism has. If the organism has only one set of teeth throughout the lifetime, it is known as Monophyodont. But since we are talking about the human teeth is Diphyodont, which is that we have two successive sets of teeth. It appears when the child is around 6 months, that is the milk teeth, and then later comes the permanent teeth. So in our entire lifetime, there are two successive sets of teeth, and therefore the human teeth is known as Diphyodont. The second term is Bunodont. Bunodont means that there are cusps. The cusps are found in teeth. If you just touch your premolars and molars, you will find that there are cusps like this, and these cusps are not very sharp, they are blunt and smooth. So such cusps if are present, then the type of teeth is known as the Bunodont. Then the human teeth is Thecodont. Thecodont means the teeth are embedded in the bony sockets. We know that the upper jaw, the bone is the maxilla, and the lower jaw, the bone that is present in the lower jaw that makes the lower jaw is the mandible. So these bones, the maxilla or the mandible, make up bony sockets in which the teeth is entirely fitted in. So such type of sockets are produced. The socket is actually theca. Theca word means socket. So when the teeth is embedded in such sockets, the term is given Thecodont. The first set of teeth that we have is the milk teeth, which we also call as deciduous teeth. So the child, which is usually 12 years old, he or she has the deciduous teeth. The deciduous teeth is temporary. It is only for few years. So this is the first set of teeth. As we discussed that in human life there are two successive sets of teeth. So this one is the first set of teeth, and this will then fall off. Therefore the term deciduous, as on the basis of deciduous trees, because the leaves are shed. So here the teeth are gone, and then this is replaced by a new set of teeth, which we call as the permanent teeth or the adult teeth. This is the second set of teeth. The second set of teeth which appears later after 12 years of age, and this remains throughout your lifetime. So this is the permanent teeth. Then human teeth is heterodont. When there are variety of teeth, not all the teeth are similar. If the teeth are similar, we call it as homodont, but the word hetero tells that there are different shapes and sizes of our teeth. The human teeth has variations. There are 4 different types of teeth. These are the incisors. The incisors are the front biting teeth, so we call these teeth as biting and cutting teeth. So these are the first 4 teeth in both the upper jaw and the lower jaw. Then comes the canine. These are very sharp and they are placed just after the incisors. The canines are known as tearing teeth because they are meant to tear apart the flesh. Since the human beings eat cooked food, the canine is not very developed. Otherwise, in other carnivorous animals, the canines are very much evolved and they have very big canines. Then comes the premolars and the molars. These teeth have the cusps. I told you that the human teeth is bunodont, so premolars and molars have cusps, and both of them are known as grinding teeth. The grinding and crushing part is done by the premolars and molars. All the 4 basically have internal structure the same, but from outside the function is different as well as the shape is also different. So therefore human teeth is known as heterodont. In other organisms like fishes, amphibians and reptiles, most of them they have the same teeth throughout in their jaw, so we call that as homodont, but human teeth is heterodont. Let us see the dental formula for both the sets of teeth. First we will take the temporary teeth. The dental formula for temporary teeth. So as we know, there are 4 kinds of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars and molars, which are placed in the upper jaw as well as on the lower jaw. So the numerator tells the upper jaw and the denominator the lower jaw. The body has bilateral symmetry, and therefore if this is the buccal cavity where the teeth is arranged, we are going to take just half. That means the incisors are placed in the middle over here, the incisors are placed over here, just after the incisors the canines, then the premolars and the molars. So this is the arrangement of the teeth in this manner. Here are the premolars and then the molars. The same arrangement is there in the lower jaw. So we take just half, the bilateral symmetry, and we will just count this much. So here are the incisors, then the canines, then the premolars and the molars. However, there is no premolar in the milk teeth, but this is the arrangement of the teeth in the adults. So let us see. The incisors will take just 2 incisors above. The similar arrangement is there at the lower jaw. So 2 incisors above, 2 incisors below. Then canine is just 1 over here. Similarly in the lower jaw. There are no premolars in the temporary teeth, and the molars are 2. There are 2 molars that are present. I have drawn just 1 over here. There is more over here. So there are 2 molars that are present. So the number of teeth in the upper jaw is 2 plus 1 is 3 and 3 plus 2 5, and we multiply this by 2 because this is 1/2 and this there is another half, so we multiply it with 2. So in the upper jaw it comes to 10 and in the lower jaw also 10. Together the temporary teeth are 20. So the milk teeth that is present in a child's mouth is 20. So this is how we see the dental formula of the temporary teeth. Now let us see the dental formula for the permanent teeth. Let us see now for the permanent teeth. The arrangement is the same. The numerator for the upper jaw and the denominator for the lower jaw. So incisors are again incisors 2, canine 1, premolars 2. There were no premolar in the temporary teeth. Now in the permanent teeth, the premolars have come, and there is a third molar that appears in the upper jaw, and the same arrangement is there in the lower jaw. We multiply it with 2. So 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, and 5 plus 3 8. 8 into 2 16. 16 are present in the upper jaw and 16 are present in the lower jaw. Altogether there are 32 teeth in an adult mouth. So the permanent teeth is 32. Now there is sometimes a question asked that how many teeth are monophyodont. That means we discussed that the human teeth is diphyodont. It appears in 2 sets. But see, in the temporary teeth and in the permanent teeth, there are certain teeth that appears only once in the lifetime. That is the premolars. The premolars once appear as permanent teeth and is always present in the mouth till the entire lifetime. So the premolars are monophyodont. They appear only once in the entire lifetime. And the wisdom tooth. So the premolars and the third molar are monophyodont. That means they are not present in the temporary teeth. They appear only once. Otherwise, rest all the teeth are diphyodont. The third molar usually appears after 18 years of age. We call this as the wisdom tooth. When you have attained enough wisdom, then it is the appearance comes, and therefore the appearance is there of the third molar. So the third molar is not present in the temporary teeth. We call the third molar as the wisdom tooth. Let us now see the structure of tooth. The tooth basically has 3 parts: the crown, the neck, and the root. We'll see the 3 parts in the diagram. So this is the bony part. This is called as the alveoli actually, which is formed if this is a mandible. If this is the lower jaw, then this is the mandible. So there are depressions in the mandible which the tooth makes. So this is the bony socket which we call as alveoli. So this is the alveoli that is present, the alveolar part. This is totally the bone, and this makes the socket over here in which the teeth gets fitted in. This part is, let us see from above, this part is the crown. This is the exposed part. Now this is the bony part I told you, and the teeth has this particular membrane that covers the teeth over here. This membrane which covers the outer membrane is the periodontal membrane. This is present on both the sides, and between the periodontal membrane and this bone there is a cementum. This is a substance which cements the teeth, and therefore it is held very tightly. Only when the cementum is loose, the teeth can be shed off, and therefore the cementum has to be broken loose when the teeth is falling apart. So this part is the cementum. Let me tell again, this part which is present over here is the bone. This is also bone. Here is also the bony part, what I have made with the brown color. This entire is bone. But the tooth fits into this cavity of the bone, and outside this teeth is what I have made with green is the periodontal membrane, and in between the periodontal membrane and the bone there is a cementum, a substance which actually cements the tooth with the bone. So this is present over here, and there is an opening over here. This opening is called as apical foramen. This is the apical foramen, and the part which is above is the crown. Now what I have taken over here is a premolar, or a molar you can say. There are two apical foramen over here. If you take canine, then it is only one. The basic structure is the same. Whatever I'll be teaching, the crown, the neck, the root and the internal part would be the same. But since I have taken the premolar, there are two openings over here. Otherwise the apical foramen would be one. Now this crown has three parts. The part which is above, this part is the enamel. This part is the enamel. The enamel is the hardest substance known in the body. This is the hardest substance which is known in the body. Now the enamel is made up of the salts of calcium like calcium phosphate and fluorides. Calcium phosphates and fluorides. The same is for the dentine that comes below the enamel. So enamel is made up of calcium phosphates and fluorides, and it is very shiny. It is shiny and is the hardest substance of the body. The hardest tissue is the bone, but we are talking about the hardest substance. Below this comes the dentine part. Now you can see that enamel is only present in the crown region, but the dentine is present below, and this particular region is the dentine. This entire part is the dentine. This all that I have made is the dentine. So dentine is thick, this part in the blue is the dentine, and you can see that it is present both in the crown region as well as it is present below. There is a attachment of the tooth in this region with the help of gums. So this part which is in the gums is the neck. The neck and the crown are very close to each other. If this is the crown that just ends, neck is very small, only till where the gums are present. So this portion is the neck region. So you can see, and what is present below the neck is the root. So the three parts of the tooth is crown, neck and root. So you can see that dentine is present in the entire structure of the tooth, in the crown, in the neck region as well as in the root region. There is one basic difference, that this dentine is mesodermal in origin. The dentine I'm talking about. So dentine is mesodermal in origin. While we were talking about the enamel, this was ectodermal in origin. So both of them are actually made up of salts of calcium, calcium phosphates and fluorides. So is the dentine. But its origin is ectodermal and the dentine is mesodermal in origin. So who produces the dentine? There are certain cells called as odontoblasts. The odontoblasts produce the dentine. So let me make the odontoblasts over here. These cells are present in the lower part, that is the root. The odontoblasts secrete this dentine. This is also very hard, but not as hard as the enamel. So this part is also the dentine. So dentine is present and is the bulk of the tooth. So maximum part and the weight of the tooth is because of the dentine. And what is present in the middle is the pulp cavity. The pulp cavity, this is the pulp cavity. Now from the pulp cavity, the blood vessels, the nerve fibers and all appear. Here are the blood vessels, the nerve fibers, everything, the connective tissue, that is all present over here. So blood vessels, nerve fibers are present in the pulp cavity. This is the innermost part of the crown region. So I told that there are three parts in the crown. This is the outermost part, which is the enamel. The second part is the dentine. This is the dentine. And the third part is the pulp cavity. In the pulp cavity, there are the blood vessels, the nerve fibers and all this that appears out. So this is the basic structure of the tooth. So the outermost is the enamel, and this usually when lot of fluoride is applied, the fluorides are present in the toothpaste and all, and when lot of fluorides are applied to the outermost part, there is mottling. The fluorides are necessary. We know that it is the calcium phosphates and the fluorides which make up the enamel. But when there is lot of fluoride in the enamel, then there is a case which we call as mottling of the teeth. The teeth becomes deformed and the enamel is usually rubbed off. So this is known as mottling of the teeth. So this is the structure of the tooth. So this is all about the tooth. If you have any doubt, you may ask me in the comment section, and you may also refer to the questions that are given in the description box. Thank you.